All right, guys, we are headed deep into Russia tonight, a story that harkens to one of the darkest and most disturbing legends from Slavic folklore, a killer who literally took pages from this witch's book. Be sure to comment on the blog post at talkmurder.com for a chance to win an Amazon gift card, plus check out the new videos John is putting out called Johnny Llama. We've got a few ways to win by watching some of those videos too. Check it out. Cheers to John.
It's John's birthday today.
We're drinking
to Johnny Llama.
lemonade sunrises.
Yeah, that's what I called it.
That's
Cheers.
the Johnny Llama? Give me mine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the Johnny Llama. Unless you don't like it, then we'll change the name.
I love it. Hold on.
You want to stir it first?
It's too
I love
pretty.
it. Yeah, that's the Johnny Llama.
That's delish.
This is New Amsterdam pink lemonade flavored vodka. And then on my way over, I stopped at Chick-fil-A and got some lemonade because I stand firm in my belief that they have the best lemonade.
Yeah, I do too.
I used to be a Panera lemonade girl. Their lemonade is really good too, but I really prefer Chick-fil-A now that I've moved down south. And had a debacle with the lemonade. But I will say that I got my lemonade much quicker the way that I did it versus going to the drive-thru, because I will never, I like Chick-fil-A.
Love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, love Chick-fil-A. I will never understand the amount of people that are willing to wait in line, the length of these drive-thru lines at Chick-fil-A.
They're so fast.
They are fast.
They are the most efficient drive-thru though that you will have ever seen.
Did we ever tell you when we were somewhere and we had stopped in Dunkin' Donuts, the drive-thru Dunkin' Donuts, and got their breakfast? And then I looked at it, I was like, this looks like shit. And then we just drove straight forward into the Chick-fil-A line.
No, you didn't tell me that story.
Straight.
We got some healthy egg white and we're like, fuck it, let's just get some biscuits.
But
I would say give the line a chance, because if it's like multiple lines, they've got it's
but there were 40 cars in line. I'm
you'd
not
be
exaggerating
amazed how fast
Dude,
they move.
it's fucking fast, man.
Well,
It
they
is.
do only serve chicken.
That's why they.
Yeah.
That's why they got hired
it's
to
hot
do
and
the
fresh.
the COVID thing.
Yeah.
They did all the COVID lines.
Did they really?
Yeah, they got hired to do
Or
that.
at least in
down
South
here,
Carolina.
yeah. They got hired to do all the COVID-19 lines. It's crazy.
Ashley and Lauren are online already and wishing you a happy birthday, John.
Oh, thank you, Ashley, Lauren.
Let's go with some surprise shots, because we do have some new Supremos that we need to shout out. Eric and Amanda.
Eric and Amanda.
Thank you, guys.
Two separate, not husband and wife. These are separate Supremes.
Ooh, 2 Supremos.
Oh.
That was separate. That wasn't part of the song. Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise.
Oh, it's Jaeger.
I picked it because it's your favorite. Cheers.
Cheers. It's my favorite because me and my buddy used to groupie this band. It was a band of dudes, but they were
That's not weird at all.
but they would drink Jaeger.
I can just see John there. Woo!
John would do that.
He would.
I got my first chest hair. Welcome to Talk Murder Me. My name is John. I'm sitting here with Jen and Nicole. Tonight we got a great episode. We're actually going to Russia tonight, and we are sending all of our love to Ukraine. I usually don't support causes or be political and stuff, but, still, I feel like a lot of innocent people are dying. So love for Ukraine. And tonight we're talking about the Granny Ripper. The Granny Ripper. So, you guys ready to get it?
Mm-hmm.
If you are a Supremo on live chat or a supporter on our Patreon, you can go and see the video. We are live streaming this right now. And we're going to Goog's Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Goog's Earth. All right, tonight we're going to St. Petersburg, Russia, July 26, 2015. If you're on live chat, I'm putting the photos on here. I also put all the photos on talkmurder.com. You can go there. So you can go there and leave a comment. We are still doing the comment raffle. We also got a couple other raffles coming up that I'll introduce here in a minute. But if you're on live chat, you can see the photos. So, and this isn't gruesome at all. So just look at your screen right now.
Oh man.
So describe what you're seeing here,
A
Nicole.
body.
A bloody stump of sorts in a blue shower curtain.
I really tried to get this uncensored, but
It's still like I still don't quite know what that is.
It's the
I know it's the midsection, but like,
It's
are
the
we looking at
cavity.
the bottom? Is that like the
that is
belly?
that is the midsection of a human being, right there. And it's crazy because usually Russia doesn't give a shit about censorship.
Wait, false. That's exactly opposite. They do care quite a lot about censorship.
in Africa.
Reverse that.
In Africa.
Well, I'm not talking about I'm talking about the. You're right. The media is very censored, but I'm talking about like graphic images. You know, you go over there and you watch commercials, and there's like naked.
Well, that's
naked
all over
chicks.
Europe.
I'm sorry, Miss Well Traveled.
Free the nipple.
What?
It's like a campaign so that.
Are you pro free the nipple? Like,
No, I don't really care, actually.
I was gonna say, because like if you're pro free the nipple, you would just be out here like.
I call them tater tots.
No, you don't.
They
Since when
look like little tater tots.
the nipples.
Yeah, and you flick them.
Ew.
And they
Can
get,
you
like-
stop?
July 26, 2015, St. Petersburg, Russia. Now, St. Petersburg, Russia used to be called what, Nicole?
Leningrad.
St. Petersburg, Russia used to be called Leningrad during the Soviet era, and probably it will revert back to that name by the end of the week. But
Maybe it would be changed to Putingrad.
Yeah, possibly.
St. Petersburg is densely populated. It's the fourth largest capital in Russia, or city in Russia. It's the fourth largest city in Russia. It's a cultural melting pot. And tonight we're actually going to one street, the Dimitrov Street, and the photo that you see there on your screen are at talkmore.com. This is a torso that is wrapped in a blue shower curtain, and it was tossed down a little embankment towards the river and it on Dimitrov Street, and it was there for at least 3 days. And this is a pretty populated area because I looked on Google Earth and there's a park. So this is a part of a park, like a nature park. And it's in clear view of hundreds of apartments. And people walk by it all the time. But however, it's Russia, and I feel like it's not a problem until it's a problem kind of thing, you know?
Oh, look, a body.
Dimitrov Street, in there in the park, there was a torso wrapped in a blue shower curtain, and a regular guy, I think he was like a banker or something, walks up to it and he just unravels this shower curtain. Now think about it. This has been 3 days and it was putrid smelling, terrible smelling, but it could have been an animal or something, right? Anyway, if you see,
Wrapped in a shower curtain, though, that's odd.
but look at the photo. I mean, there's no legs. There's no arms. There's no head. Like, it's just a blue shower. It's like a pail. Like, not a pail. Like a,
Veil?
no, like a little bat. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like a little package.
Like wrapped in a blanket?
Yeah, it's like a little package or something that's bloody. So it could have been like a coyote or whatever. Anyway, this guy unravels it, and this is what he finds right here. This is the headless and torso-less body. Limbless body, yeah.
You can see where the arm was torn off.
What you're seeing now, this photo, yeah, you can see the arm torn off, yeah. You can see the ligaments coming out of the crevice there of the shoulder blade. So this was there for 3 days. They actually discovered that this was a 79-year-old elderly woman. No head, no organs, no extremities. All in all, when they put her back together again, 8 pieces. And the 8 pieces aren't here. There's just 1 piece here. So the other 8 pieces are around the...
Mulberry bush?
No, they're around St. Petersburg.
Then the attacker handed out packages with the remains of the victim and left them in the territory of nearby residential buildings.
So basically what we have here is a torso wrapped in a blue shower curtain.
From RussianTimes.com, July 29, 2015, the elderly victim had been sawn into pieces and dumped. First, the upper torso, missing the head and one hand, was found wrapped in a shower curtain. Shortly afterwards, a plastic bag with hips and a thigh was discovered.
See, I thought it was sewn, but it's sawn.
No, that's sawn.
I always thought it was sewn. Oh, I sewn that or whatever.
I don't
Like
know
a
why
sewn-
it was saying it had been sawed into pieces.
No, sawn. Like,
Like using a saw.
oh, yeah.
Sewn?
Sewn. I was thinking of sewed or something, but that ain't making sense. How would you sew something?
Right.
This was saw.
Sawed.
Fuck y'all. Fuck.
Sideboard. I mean, hey.
What do you do when you sewed something? Sewed it?
Sewn.
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 Yes, but it's with an E.
Yeah, that's what I. Now looking at it does not make any sense to me.
No. It's probably supposed to say sawed into pieces instead of sawn.
No, that's what it was.
I didn't know that sawn was a word like
All right,
that.
that's a good point. So
Sawn of the dead?
with this story right here, I don't use Wikipedia or anything like that. I pull all of this information from Russian sources like RussianTimes.com, stuff like that. They're all in Russian, so I use Google Translate. So some things may not translate well. All right, here you go. Can you read this? This is from the Gazeta.ru.
A part of the female body without a head and brush was wrapped in a bathroom curtain. Not far from the site of the first find, a plastic bag was soon discovered, in which part of the pelvis and hips to the knee lay, the newspaper said.
All right, this is the woman here.
I just don't understand. She just looks so sweet and nice.
Well, she is sweet and nice. In fact, all of her neighbors said the same thing, that she was sweet and nice. She was, quote, or from one neighbor, she was, quote, a bright, joyful person ready to help everyone. I mean, you see her right there. Her name is She doesn't actually look 79. This is an elderly woman here, Valentina Ulanova. A neighbor said she was bright, joyful, and ready to help everyone. And this is where she was found. This is the apartment.
Oh.
So who did this? Who would kill an elderly woman?
Another elderly woman?
So one neighbor said that she was ready to help everyone, and that's exactly why she got killed. She was helping a woman, a roommate that had just moved in. Her name is Tamara Samsonova. She's better known as the Granny Ripper. This is the Granny Ripper.
She does not look as sweet and cute and kind. Nice.
Well, she doesn't look like she's going to kill you either and cut your body into 8
I
pieces.
don't know. That picture has a very The Shining vibe to it.
That's because it's in that little hole.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Tamara Samsonova. The press has dubbed her a few names: the Granny Ripper, the Gutter Grandmother, and Baba Yaga, which is super, super creepy. Do you want to guess what Baba Yaga is? I know we talked about this last time, but...
You want us to guess wrong?
No, guess correctly if you remember.
The Boogeyman.
It's like a folklore, Russian folklore.
Yeah, so it's Slavic folklore.
Okay.
Is basically a woman who is a witch that is almost like the Red Riding Hood grandmother. She's at one point,
No.
she's elder. No, I've never read that.
The grandmother is killed by the wolf. The grandmother is
Oh.
not evil.
Oh, shit. I thought she was evil. Who's evil?
The wolf.
No, in like a grandmother is evil. Fuck. Cinderella. No?
That's the stepmother. You're probably thinking of like
Fuck.
Hansel and Gretel when they go to the witch's house and the witch eats them and puts them in the oven.
Yeah, that's like the perfect for that.
Think of Baba Yaga as Tamara Samsonova, Baba Yaga as the witch in...
Hansel
was
and
that?
Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel.
The witch in Hansel and Gretel, who at one point is very nurturing. She's elderly, very helpful. Come in, enjoy some crumpets. And the next second, she is complete chaos and kills you and puts you in an oven. Basically, it's the same thing. So in Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga is a supernatural being who appears as a ferocious-looking woman. She actually, I looked up the story more. She has this hut that she lives in that you can only see like during certain periods of the year, and it's always moving. But the hut is situated on two gigantic chicken legs, the hut. Fucking crazy.
Wait, are you talking about in the fairy tale?
Yeah, in the fairy tale. Yeah, in real life. What the fuck?
I thought you were referring to this lady, and I was like, what?
No, Baba Yaga.
I kind of want some chicken wings.
In Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga actually shifts from that maternal caring grandmother to a cannibalistic witch.
On July 23rd, 2015, at about 3 o'clock, in her apartment during a sudden quarrel with the accused, her hands and feet, she beat the victim who was visiting, who died from bodily injuries at the scene of the incident, after which the accused dismembered her corpse and carried her out to the street.
None of her other neighbors liked her at all. They liked Valentina. They loved Valentina, but they didn't like Tamara Samsonova at all. So... And I did see some papers would refer to her as the mistress and stuff like that. I don't know if they had a sexual thing or whatever, but I saw a lot of that, but that may just be a mistranslation. The roommate was arrested once they ID'd the body, and they went to the roommate, and she denied everything. She's like, I don't know where she went. This is not me. Oh my God. She got cut up. This is crazy. They showed her the CCTV footage of which she made multiple appearances. Oh, here's the...
the chicken legs.
Yeah, here's the Baby Yaga thing. Oh, yeah, you see the chicken legs? Mm-hmm. Baba Yaga.
Lady Gaga.
So this is from a old paper. I just typed in Baba Yaga in the newspaper archives, and this is what came up. But it's got the chicken legs on the cabin. Mm-hmm. And you see the fences made out of skulls and bones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy.
And look at her toes. I think they got all warts on them and stuff.
Long toenails. She got some chin hair she needs to take care of. She's a spa day.
All right, this is her right here carrying a pot.
Oh, what do you think is in the pot?
Do you want me to tell you what was in the pot?
No, I know what's in the pot.
What's in the pot?
What's in the box?
She cooking her victims here?
All right, so there's multiple CCTV footage of her walking down the stairs. She would only go out at night, and you can see her right here. She's carrying these trash bags. It actually took her a few times to carry out the body. She puts the torso by that lake. I don't know why she didn't just kick it in the water, but she didn't. She just left it there. And then she spread the other remains around. Now, keep in mind, Tamara Samsonova is also elderly. She's 68. So you have a 70-year-old woman cutting up an 80-year-old woman. It's just like, what the fuck, man? Crazy. Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's tried to deny it at first. She even blamed everything on her upstairs neighbor. She said, quote, "My neighbor is a superior maniac. She raped me. She is a doctor. She pulled my hair, gave me bruises and cuts, and broke both of my knees. There are thousands of witnesses to this." Obviously, she doesn't have any cuts on her body and her knees aren't broken. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So right there...
And they have her on camera, but...
Yeah, well, so eventually she admitted it, but right there, when she said that is when they're like, okay, maybe we should do like a mental health screening on this lady. So she was confronted with the evidence, and after... she was arrested and brought in. She started clapping. She was very excited to spend the rest of her life in prison. She was happy about it. She's 70, so what? Another 20 years, maybe 25 years. When they asked her what her motive was for doing this, for chopping up her roommate in 8 different pieces and spreading her around Leningrad, she says that, quote, "I really liked her apartment." It is a pretty nice apartment. Not really. Look at that shit. That's like the elevator.
Oh my God.
It looks like a dungeon.
Spooky.
It looks like that movie Hostel. Have you ever seen Hostel?
Bad.
That's why I would never stay in a hostel, is because of that movie Hostel. I would never stay in it.
That the fact that like you're sharing a space with people who you don't know, they could have come from anywhere, is not what would deter you from staying at a hostel. It's the horror film.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. All right. It's worth noting right here that when she was arrested, she got a mental health screening and she was diagnosed with severe schizophrenia. So you have this 70-year-old woman. Well, she's 68 when she got arrested. She's had schizophrenia, which is offset, right, Jen? It's something that comes on. You're not born with it, or maybe it's both cases.
You could be. There could be a genetic factor, but it's not necessarily something that is developed.
But it gets worse over time if it's not treated. So you have this woman that has schizophrenia. She's already 70 years old.
And it's never been treated.
And it's never been treated at all. She never even got diagnosed for it. So she's going, like, her mental state has been declining for a long time. One paper had an interesting quote that I've seen talking about when you see like a profile picture of her, she looks all sweet and stuff. The reporter said, quote, God's dandelion suddenly turned out to be a serial ripper. Love that. So let's talk about this woman, this killer, Samsonova. She was born April 25th, 1947. I couldn't find anything about her childhood, but she did receive a high education. She's extremely smart, especially during this time when she went to the university during the Soviet time. She thrived. She goes to the Moscow Linguistics State Institute. And during that era, I mean, I don't know, I'm not from Russia, but I feel like a lot of women weren't educated. Is that fair to say? Educated. I feel like a lot of women in that era didn't have as many opportunities, I should say.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So for her to do that, in fact, the reason they know this is because they found a diary that she's been keeping for several years, 20 years, something like that, or more. Mm-hmm. And the diary was fluent in 3 different languages. She had English, Russian, and German, and it was all completely fluent as if it was a native speaker. So, I mean, that is pretty impressive. She actually learned all these languages. Once she graduated the Linguistics State Institute, she worked at a very ritzy hotel right there in St. Petersburg, and she was like one of the directors or whatever. So she would meet all the dignitaries or whoever coming in, and that's how she learned those languages. Right. Let me show you her diary. So they found this killing diary, and in this diary, which was full of all these languages, she outlined at least 10 other victims, and they went and verified these victims by, like, for instance, one of them, the first one that was in there, had a specific tattoo. When the police initially found this body, they noted the tattoo, and then so she has the exact freaking description of it, right? This is how she would kill the victims right here. So she would drug them first, and then you see here she has a screwdriver or some sort of, I don't know, like just bar or whatever. I don't think it was a knife, but she would just kind of stick it right there in the brain. So this is the killing diary right here. I mean, obviously we can't read it. It's in some weird language.
Russian?
Russian, yeah.
You know, I can read Greek.
Are you saying if I put up a bunch of Greek right now, you'd be able to read it?
Yeah.
All right, somebody on live chat.
That's related to sororities only, or?
No, like I know the Greek alphabet.
But you can't read. It would take you fucking hours to put together a word.
But can you read?
I have read Greek before.
All right, somebody send us some Greek something. So when I was researching this story, I did see, and in her diary, it talks about this too, like her past 20 years prior, before she started killing people. And she's been killing for about 2 decades. But she was selling vodka out of her apartment window, and it seemed to me, just doing the research, that she was very well liked at one point.
She probably made a strong drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. But she was different. So what I'm trying to say is I think the schizophrenia really went downhill quick, you know. But that's not an excuse. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. She's in prison for the rest of her life.
Oh, I would say it's an excuse. Like, that's her mental health. Like, she can't help that if it's not getting like that's not being treated.
But she doesn't know. Someone with schizophrenia may think that that's how the world is. It's like when
Right.
I have tinnitus. Like I have tinnitus, and then we go to the doctor. I'm like, doesn't everyone hear ringing in their ears? Like I thought that was just what everyone does. I thought that was like the body or something.
Or like someone with a stig. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the meme where like when someone with astigmatism sees when it's raining at night and there's a red light versus what normal vision.
Do you know Russians see two types of blue? So they look at the rainbow, they see 8 colors instead of 7 because they see 2 shades of blue.
There's only 6 colors in the rainbow.
Well, then they see 7 colors. So in this killing diary, she goes from the most gruesome facts about actual victims that they found to the most mundane things. So one line says the following, quote, I killed my tenant, Volavda, cut him to pieces in the bathroom with a knife and put the pieces of his body in the plastic bags, end quote. But the next line, she describes the bitterness of her coffee. She says, this coffee is old, stale, and too bitter. And then she goes on to say, I cut out his lungs, removed them from the body, and threw them away in the Fruzinski district. And then she talks right after that about how her neighbor has his television too loud. So she's going from these most gruesome details to just the mundane things. So they think that she's at least killed 12, if not a lot more. She's been killing for 20 years, and this is the only one that she got caught with. They think a lot of the bodies are actually in the same place, in this pit that used to be there by her old apartment. She's been killing since the early 2000s. She was married at one point, but what do you think happened to the husband?
He'd be dead.
She killed her husband. She killed her husband in 2005 from what the police think. And the apartment that she killed him in is the one that she's been living in for about 40 years. And the apartment that long ago had a huge dirt pit. Now it's a big residential area. However, at the time...
So she was burying the bodies like in the construction?
Exactly. And the police actually think and have admitted that the bodies, the cadavers, or the corpses are down there, the bones now, I guess. But at this point, it's not any use digging them up because they would have to, like, it would cost a lot of money. They would have to basically tear down that huge residential area to do that. Her apartment, the one that she lived in for 40 years, was considered a, quote, crypt clogged with trash. It's a very nasty apartment. Many men have disappeared over the years and found in that old apartment. They ripped up the floorboards. They still found blood, dried blood from different people, different DNA from different men. And under the floorboard was a hacksaw. All right, so remember this photo right here? Of the Granny Ripper carrying down a pot.
Uh-huh.
Well, if you want to read the headline of this, McQueeze, this is from the Daily Mail.
Serial killer cannibal Granny Ripper reenacts how she cut off head of final victim and then boiled it into a saucepan to shocked police.
That was her actually carrying down the head in that pot of her roommate. And when I said earlier that her name from the media is Baba Yaga, I said that Baba Yaga turns from a caring maternal grandmother to a cannibalistic witch. Well, here's the thing I haven't mentioned yet. The bodies that were found 20 years ago, all of those bodies that were found, not buried in that pit, didn't have any organs. They were whole bodies as far as they weren't missing limbs, but their organs were gone. And with the killing diary, the police actually find this book of spells, like this old religious kind of exactly what you're thinking of, kind of like this old Harry Potter type book of old spells that go back.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
That go back centuries. And with the bodies, some of the pages were ripped out and placed with the bodies. Because at the time when they documented this, they didn't arrest her for 20 years later, they didn't know who was doing this. Like, why would someone do this? Those pages were basically recipes. So the organs were removed because she was cooking them in the stew. Like you just saw her taking down that pot. And then she would use them for these recipes, these spells, and she would consume them. And in her diary, she talks about having like this, feeding her neighbors like beef stroganoff and stuff like that. So it's believed that she was doing that with the organs, and she was kind of letting everyone take part type of thing. So, this is from the Russian Times.
Granny Ripper, who murdered 11 people, may have eaten her victims. It seems the woman who also ate the lungs of her victims, as the internal organs were reportedly removed from the bodies. Samsonova's final victim, Valentina Ulanova, may have been cut to pieces while she was still alive. Samsonova was the woman's carer at the time. She appears to have given the woman a sleeping pill overdose before taking a hacksaw to her body. St. Petersburg detective Mikhail Tomastov said, Tamara Samsonova says that at first she made her friend sleep, then cut her into pieces.
So they think that's how she did all of her victims. She would put sleeping pills in their whatever, coffee, tea, and then she would kill them and cut their organs out. With this body in particular, it was a little different of the MO because she wasn't actually making soup and spells out of the organs. Even though her organs weren't there, she just literally wanted her apartment. And anyway, that's the Tamara Granny Ripper story. You're not going to get any more information than that, I promise you. What do you guys think?
Do you have a word for us, Jen?
I have parts of the word, but I will bow out because I don't remember.
No, I want you to try because that's the funny thing.
But I can recite the Greek alphabet for you.
That's not what you said.
What you said. You said you could read Greek.
I did. Okay, so let me tell you this. Let me tell you the story.
What?
Let me tell you the story.
Are you going to tell it to us in Greek?
So in my junior year of college, a bunch of friends and I went to St. Augustine on this mission trip. We worked with a group for underprivileged teenage girls, and we stayed at this house owned by a doctor who she had contacts with someone. Anyway, we stayed at this house and in the house was a diary written by one of the previous homeowners, and it was written with Greek letters, but the words were English words, but they were written in the Greek letters. So clearly that was not the language.
So you
Greek.
took that and you stretched it too.
So you're saying like how Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is WTF, and like you're trying to apply that into translating that to English instead of actually knowing the Greek words.
No, I did that. I did. She literally wrote today and she wrote like every single entry was like this. Written in the Greek. It was like a secret code so no one could understand.
But
apparently.
It was Greek alphabet, but using English words and spelling.
Correct.
Right.
So you can read Greek in secret code, but no one can understand.
But I can tell you that the letters that he typed, I can tell you some of them. I had to sing it in my head.
You go from reading fluently to...
I didn't say I could read fluently. I did never use the word fluent in my comments.
That's like having someone from like a non-English speaking country that owns like a Nike shirt, and Nike is an English word. So then they'd be like, I can read English because I know what Nike is. What the fuck?
But I can recite the Greek alphabet. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta. I have to sing it. I have to sing it though. Don't judge me. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega.
Oops. So it's like on the washing machine. Oops.
That wasn't us. That was a different sorority.
That was a good ending to a great episode. There you go.